Hey yogi, welcome to class. Are you looking for a challenging yoga practice? Then you are exactly right here. Today we are building strength as well as flexibility as we will be working our way towards the splits. Don't get frustrated if you will not make it at the first attempt. It's a really challenging pose and it requires a lot of practice and consistency. So if you like to achieve it, I recommend you practice this video several times. My name is Helen and my dream is to inspire people to a more happy and fulfilled lifestyle through yoga. Today we are going to need 2 blocks and yeah, let's begin. I want you to come into a seated position and close your eyes just for a second to arrive on your mat. Lift your heart and bring the attention to your breath. Take breaths in and out through your nose and see if you can make the inhalation and exhalation the exact same length. You want to fill your lungs completely, but you don't want to overfill them. Try breathing deeply, but yet softly. If you want to set an intention for today's class, then this is the moment. Observe your breath and your belly, and see if you can just let your breath go naturally for a moment here. Then gently open your eyes and let's begin class in a downward facing dog today. Spread your palms widely, your index fingers are parallel, and then shift your hips up and back, straighten your arms, your shoulder blades are pulling together slightly, your core is active, and now you can start walking your dog, looking over to the right and to the left, just to arrive here on the mat. Let's begin to flow. With your next inhale, step your left foot to the center of the mat and then lift your right foot off the mat. You can come into the left toes if you want. Make sure your hips are nice and squared here. Then breathe deeply and lift your leg as high as you can without your hips opening. Take another deep breath here. And with your exhale, step your right foot to the front of the mat, grab your blocks, and place your hands on the blocks. You want to create length in your spine. Your right hip pulls back slightly. And your heart pulls towards the front of the mat. Then take a deep inhale here. And exhale. One more like this. And on your next inhale, lift your arms and come into a warrior one position. Gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Make sure that your right foot is 90 degrees and that your knee is pointing outward. Then take another breath in here and out. Come back to your blocks and straighten your right leg. Make your spine really long. And on your exhale, see if you can lower your front body towards your leg. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Your right hip wants to pull back the entire time. Then we stay here for another deep breath in. And on the exhale, put your blocks away. Place your fingers on the mat and step back into your three-legged dog. And then ground your right foot. Let's switch it over to the other side. On your inhale, lift up your left leg and hold here for a second. Your belly pulled in slightly. You don't want to open your hip like this. Your hip wants to be stacked. Just lift your leg as high as you can without opening your hips. Take another deep breath in here. And on the exhale, step your left foot to the front of the mat. Grab your blocks and place your hands on your blocks. Low lunge with lifted knee. Make sure your left hip pulls back and your left knee just points towards the outside of the mat. And take deep breaths in here. Lift your heart. Relax your shoulders. We're going to stay here for another deep breath. On your next inhale, lift your arms into warrior one. We're going to stay for a couple of breaths here. Arms are shoulder width apart. Your knees bent and your legs are really strong. Take another deep inhale here. Exhale, place your hands on the mat and straighten your left foot. Your left hip pulls back, the right hip pulls forward. Come into your right toes. Lift your heart. Your back wants to be really straight in this position. With every inhale, your heart wants to reach up towards the sky, and with the exhale, you lower your front body a little bit closer to your left leg. One more deep breath here. Then put your blocks away and come back to a three-legged downward facing dog. And let's flow through a vinyasa, either with your leg lifted or lower your leg. And then with the inhale, roll yourself to the front of the mat into a forearm plank. Exhale, shift your weight forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's repeat this section from before and add a little bit more to it. On your next inhale, lift your right foot off the mat. Exhale, step it forward. Grab your blocks. Inhale here, low lunge. Exhale, shift your weight back to pyramid pose. Inhale, come back to the front. Exhale, back to pyramid. Inhale, come to the front. Exhale, open yourself to the right. Lift your right arm up towards the sky. Press firmly into your block on the left hand. Breathe here. Take another deep inhale here, and on an exhale, lower your right arm and straighten the right leg. Pyramid pose on this side. Now for a little challenge. On your next inhale, open yourself to the right. Twisted pyramid. Make sure also here your right hip pulls back. Your legs are completely straight. We're going to stay for another couple of breaths. This stretch is intense, I know. Same for me. And then on your exhale, come back. Put your blocks away. And let's flow through a vinyasa. On the inhale, come back into downward facing dog. On the exhale, lower your right leg. Inhale, roll yourself to the front of the mat. Exhale, shift your weight forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's switch it to the other side. On your inhale, lift your left leg. On the exhale, step the left leg to the front of the mat. Grab your blocks. Inhale, create length. Exhale, straighten the left leg for pyramid pose. Inhale, come back to low lunge. Exhale, pyramid. A few more times like this. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Once more. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, open yourself to the left. Press into the right hand. Your left arm reaches towards the sky. Make sure your knee is pointing outward. Then take another few breaths here with me. On the exhale, lower your arm, straighten your back. Inhale here. Exhale, straighten the left leg. Pyramid pose on the left. Now, you know what's next. On an inhale, open yourself to the left. Left hip pulls back. Right hip pulls forward. Your legs are completely straight. And stay here with me for a couple of breaths. You're really grounding yourself through the right arm. Then take another inhale here, and on an exhale, lower the left hand. And step the right foot forward to meet the front. Now you want to place your blocks on the highest position. We are going to do a warrior 3 prep. Therefore, ground yourself really firmly through the right foot. Your right foot is really strong. Now press into your hands, your shoulder blades pull together slightly, lift your chest, suck in your belly, and then lift your left leg off the ground. The left foot is flexed. Your legs are really strong. And now breathe here with me. For splits, it's important to have flexibility, but it's also important to work on your leg strength, because if not, you can get injured. Especially if you tend to be really flexible like me. Then we're gonna stay for another deep breath here. And then lower your hands to the ground if this feels good for you. If not, because we're gonna come into standing splits, if you cannot reach your hands to the ground easily, take your blocks and walk them back, and then from here try lifting the left leg. If you already have more flexibility available, lower your hands to the floor and lift your left leg to the sky. Press firmly into the right foot at the same time to reach the left foot upwards to the sky. We're going to stay for a couple of breaths here. Just go as far as you can. Take another deep breath here. And then lower your left leg. Whew, this was intense. Now we're going to switch it over to the other side. Place your hands onto your blocks. Ground yourself through the left foot, through your hands. Lift your heart, suck in the belly button, and then lift your right leg off the mat. Make sure you don't open your hip like this, but that your hips are leveled. Just watch your hips and check for that. We breathe here. Your left leg is really strong and you should straighten it completely. If you cannot straighten it completely, of course, you can bend it a little bit, but the aim is to have the left leg completely straight. Another deep breath in here. And on the exhale, come into your standing splits. Either walk the blocks closer or ground your palms and lift that right foot, point the foot, strong left leg. Now breathe here. Stay with me. Your glutes want to be engaged and you try to not open your hip. I know this is challenging. Let's just stay for another deep breath in and out. And then lower the right leg. Bend your knee a little bit and come into a standing forward fold. Grab your elbows. Swing from left to right, but make sure your knees are bent. I know this was intense. Try catching your breath. And then we want to come into a downward facing dog. Place your blocks to your right and left in the middle of the mat. Come into downward facing dog, and now you guessed it, we're going to prepare for splits. With your next inhale, lift your right foot off the mat. With your exhale, place the right foot between your hands, lower the left leg. Now from here, just go as far as it feels comfortable to you. You should never feel any pain or anything. Be gentle to yourself. From here, you want to walk back the left foot a little bit further. You can take blocks either on this height. You can also use your blocks like this. And then try wandering your right foot as far forward as you can. Maybe flexing the foot. And now lift your heart and just hold here. Breathe. If you want to go one step deeper, lower your blocks. And just keep on breathing. Don't be too hard to yourself. It's really challenging, this pose. If this feels okay for you, you can also place one block below your right glute and just sit on the block, maybe lift off your hands. And maybe this is your variation, or maybe the variation before. It doesn't matter which one is yours. If this feels easy and achievable, you can also try lowering your block once more and sit on it. Maybe lift your hands. And if you want to try full splits with me, take away the block and just sit down. Lift your hands and relax your face. That's difficult here, I know. Then lower your hands, place them under blocks, and try to come back to downward facing dog. If you want, you can stay with your hands on the block. Let's switch it over to the other side. Lift your left leg and make a big step forward. Lower your right knee. And come into a low lunge here. Now you also want to walk the right foot a bit back, the left foot forward. Use the height of blocks you prefer. You can also use the higher one. It's no problem. Listen to your body. And then walk the left foot forward. Maybe flex your foot. Maybe point the feet. Just feel what feels right to you. If you want, you can place a block underneath your left glute. Lift your arms. Keep your core engaged. This is really important here. Maybe lower your hands. Maybe lower them with a block. And breathe. Stay with your breath. And if you want to do full splits with me, take the block away. Sit down. Lift your arms if you can. And smile. Then place your hands underneath the blocks. Doesn't matter where you are. Come back into a downward facing dog. And from here, lower your knees into a well-deserved child's pose. Observe your breath. Observe the sensations in your body. How was this practice for you? Practicing splits can take a lot of time, and I remember myself when I started doing yoga, there was a video on YouTube which said you can achieve splits in 2 weeks. And yeah, I feel like it's something ridiculous to post because it just creates so much pressure. And if you work on your flexibility, you will achieve the splits. But depending on your body, it takes longer or less long. So don't be too hard on yourself. If you want to do the splits, put in the work, stretch daily. You can also try another stretching video on my channel, which is a bit shorter. But you can always come back here to this sequence. Now slowly come back to a seated position. Join your palms in front of your heart. And you can be really proud of yourself for sticking around until now. I know this class is really challenging. It's definitely not for beginners. And thank you for staying till the end. Now lift your thumbs to your third eye for clear thoughts, to your mouth for speaking the truth, and to your heart. May your heart guide you through this journey called life. Thank you for sticking around. If you enjoyed this video, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel and recommend this class to 1 or 2 friends. I also really want to invite you to my first yoga retreat I will be hosting this October in Portugal. It will be so much fun, and if you're interested, make sure you check out my website. You can find the link below, and I wish you a beautiful day. Bye bye.